So like I mentioned before, if you can hold off on pumping until you have a good breastfeeding routine, that is best. If it's medically necessary and you need to do it, of course, pump. But if you can, hold off. And when you go back to work, I always recommend that you have a 2-week supply, if possible, in the freezer. So that's hard to gauge because, how much is the baby could drink? So you just kind of have to figure out. And the reason why I recommend that is because it gives you like a buffer. So when you go back to work, you start pumping. The hope is that you're going to be able to pump what your baby needs for that next day. But that doesn't always happen. There's stressors. The pump isn't as good of a suction as baby is. And so that gives you a little breathing room. Like, okay, well, I was only able to pump out, let's say, 8 ounces, and baby for the whole day, needs 10. And so you'll have a little bit of buffer with that supply. You can either do it slowly. So let's say you decide to start pumping. You want to do it more of a slow routine. And so you can add a pump here and there throughout the months until you go back to work. Or you can make it more routine. You say, hey, I want to wait until 4 months. I don't have to go back till 6 months. And so I'm going to start 2 months beforehand. And then you can kind of be a little bit more aggressive with pumping. So before you start work, I want you to talk to your manager, your boss, whoever is in charge, kind of talk to them about where you're going to be pumping. You want a place that is that you feel safe and comfortable, and that is a place that is calming for you. I want you to look up the laws in your state, in your country. You want to make sure that you have a good understanding of your rights as a pumping and breastfeeding mother. Important to establish a routine. So think about, how is my pumping and breastfeeding routine going to happen now that I am going back to work? So for me, what I usually did was I would feed baby in the morning before I left. Then I would pump every 3 hours for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then I would feed the baby after I got home, and then usually pump before bed, and sometimes once at night if the baby sleeps. So I wouldn't recommend waking up your baby. If they're sleeping through the night, let them be. But I would recommend that you wake up to pump so that your milk supply doesn't go down. That's kind of one of the biggest things that I see, is that moms go back to work, babies are sleeping through the night, and they're skipping that evening feed, that pumping session, and that's actually when your hormones are the highest. And so you want to make sure that you're really emptying your breast during that time. You want to pay attention to your supply. Make sure that if it's going down, that you're really proactive about it. And so if you need to add a pumping session here and there, to make sure that you're keeping up with the supply. Some people will bring pictures of their baby. They'll bring items, something that smells like their baby, so that it brings good hormones and happy hormones, that oxytocin, to your brain to really produce the milk supply. You can massage beforehand. So massage, we say massage and wake your breasts up. You've been in work mode, and now you want to wake them up to do their job. And so you wake them up, get them going, you pump and massage during and afterwards as well. And that can really help increase your milk supply. And then my tidbit, my pro tip for you is, once baby starts to eat solids, I want you, so your baby's caregiver, have them give solids before they give the bottle. And the reason why is because that's going to decrease your milk demand. So baby will not have to drink as much while they're gone. And then when you are with the baby, you're going to breastfeed first and then give solids. So you flip-flop. So solids first when they're with a nanny or at daycare, and then milk. And then when you're with them, you're going to breastfeed first and then give them solids. And that's going to make it so it's less stress on you of having to maintain that milk demand from your growing baby.